you will be inspired to begin to investigate some of your experiences. And the reflections that come from this are really important. They're significant to me because they provide orientation and guidance during the course of the day and allow me to think more freely of the world around me. Allow me to come to different conclusions than perhaps the ordinary person. I'm not saying they're better conclusions, but they're suitable to me. And that's really important because I have to live with my stuff. I have to live with my own experience and the interpretation of my experience in order to allow me to craft my next experience. What does it mean? How do I understand myself? One of the things that I've talked about in the past, podcasts long ago, was the idea that evil, the beast, doesn't know that it is being used for good. It thinks that it is living in its own devices and desires, and it is unaffected by the realities of the divine. And I'm thinking that that is something to be examined this evening. That in fact, all of the things that have been happening to us, to society, in the most recent years are going to be used for good. And what I mean is, it's the advantageousness of trauma. There are a lot of professions that seek out people that are or have been traumatized because their sensitivities are remarkable. People who have been traumatized, who have been able to work through their trauma, end up with an array of skills that are quite remarkable. And so it is with the society as a whole. We have been traumatized by plagues and wars and sacrifices of all kinds and rivers of blood. And that has affected humanity dramatically. And what I'm saying is that the forces that have caused all these events to have happened don't realize that they are crafting and creating the army that will defeat them. Because in the context of that trauma, we are aware, we are awakened, we are utilizing new skills in our apprehension of reality that we didn't have before. So many of us we've been sheltered, we've been buffered from reality, and as a result, we have gone dormant. That our psychic powers, our intuitions, they have failed to mature in any reasonable way. And society as a whole, the planet as a whole, doesn't seem to make much progress. It's the same old stuff. But as of late, it seems as though the number of people who have been subjected to a cruelty, a psychological cruelty, that is of a gigantic magnitude, has got to have some resounding effect on the other side of the event. And what I'm suggesting is that as people begin to deal with their trauma and begin to reorient themselves, as I have done, there is a reorientation that occurs, a sensitivity, an awareness of abilities that were heretofore very concealed or unavailable or unknown. Well, that's no longer the case. What's happening is that people are waking up in various kinds of ways. And a lot of the old systems that people relied on have become dormant. And people are looking for new ways to re-understand their relationship to the world around them to understand the relationship they have with the divine hierarchy and understand the nature of the beast, which plies its wares constantly, and also the nature of personality. That personality which is so easily manipulated and beat about, a personality that's been beleaguered. And it's important to understand that that personality is something that we have control over. We have a say into what it is that's happening with regard to our personality. And if we are constantly being traumatized and terrified, and our personality is being subjugated by forces that are unholy, unhealthy, warlike, bloodthirsty, bestial forces that have taken over our personalities, we begin to realize that, well, wait a minute, that doesn't have to be so. I'm tired of being terrified. I'm tired of the news. I'm tired of these entities and agencies in our world who continuously try and subjugate us, to cow us into a submission. So I'm going to restate that subjugation is going to come to an end as people recover from their trauma and recover with new skills, new abilities, new sensitivities, and become warriors of the divine realms in ways that those who manipulate us so terribly cannot understand. And that is the force of good working in the world that we live. So society has been traumatized by all of these plagues and wars and sacrifices and shedding of blood. It's a bloodthirsty world. But my sensibility is that there's a consequence to that, which is an opportunity for the divine to engage itself in the affairs of humans in a very intimate way. And the arrival of forces that we cannot comprehend are occurring right now. As people are acquiring the sensitivities and the psychic ability to begin to understand the world that we live in a new way. And that is an army of the divine, a legion not of the earth, but an army of a realm. So we are not legion, we are a realm, an army of the realm. And in that sense, as warriors of the realm, we have the opportunity to defend ourselves, to defend our psychic frontiers as people, as humans. And those frontiers are valuable and precious, and they are our future and our entrance into the divine realm in very powerful ways. So this is the meditation for today. I ask you to engage yourself in thinking about these things and to do the work. It's not easy work. You have to think it through. You have to begin to develop a practice that's going to allow you the space to do this work, where you can set aside your personality and become a more perfect human being. So thank you for listening and watching. Amen.